discussions prepared to celebrate 10 years of MESI. MESI is a medical device development and production company with the goal to bring early diagnosis to all patients. 10 years ago, the founders designed an innovative device for measuring the ankle brachial pressure index, or APP. This is a medical tool for early diagnosis of peripheral arterial disease. The device was an immediate success. It enabled healthcare professionals to perform the APP measurement in 1 minute. By today, the company also developed another product, the MESI tablet system, which includes wireless sensors for APP, ECG, blood pressure, pulse oximeter, and toe brachial index model. The tablet includes MESI records and MESI store. MESI devices were sold in more than 50 countries by today. On 4th November, the company marked its 10th anniversary. My name is Tjasa Zaitz. I am the host of Faces of Digital Health podcast, and I've known MESI for quite a few years by today. They invited me to share their story with you in a format of a series of discussions with their partners, supporters, and the internal team. You can see the full list of discussions in the description. In the previous episodes, you could hear from the founders Tomo Kriuc and Jakub Šušterić. MESI's product manager Matic Verbancic talked with Dr. Jaka Stril, who is an early adopter of MESI products. We also invited two partners from the UK, Nina Linit and Andy Holman from MEDI UK, to join us in this short series. But today, you're going to hear from Matthew Cowlishaw, the National Sales Manager at EBOS Australia. EBOS Healthcare is an exclusive distributor of MESI devices in Australia and New Zealand. Matthew and I will talk about EBOS, their experiences of providing MESI devices to medical practices in Australasia, and about their experiences with working with MESI. Matthew, hello.
Hello, thank you for the introduction.
So EBOS is the largest and most diversified Australasian market wholesaler and distributor of healthcare, medical, and pharmaceutical products. For a brief introduction, can you share and describe your values?
Thank you. Yeah, so as you just said, EBOS Healthcare, the largest medical wholesaler in Australia and New Zealand. I head up the primary health market, which is primarily medical centres, and we've also got a hospital division and an aged care division. So with the MESI portfolio, obviously fits quite nicely in the primary medical space and also the hospital space. I guess when you talk about values, I talk about customer satisfaction. So the reason why I do what I do and I love is, satisfying a customer, giving them the equipment or product that they need, and doing it with some honesty and integrity. So that's probably how I would sum that up.
The medtech market is quite saturated. There's a lot of devices available, a lot of companies providing different solutions. Can you tell us a little bit more about your selection process? So how do you decide which device you're going to include in your portfolio?
So Australia being quite diverse and having each state having different intricacies and requirements, it can vary from state to state. As a national organisation, we really look to partner with companies that are going to give us the support we require. Whilst we've got specialised territory managers and CAMs, they're not necessarily a specialist in any one area. So having the backup support from a manufacturer is very important, and obviously also understanding that piece of equipment's the right piece for our business, I guess.
So how many countries approximately do manufacturers come from, those that you chose to include with their products to your family?
Oh, look, I'd say most of them. If we're talking equipment, which is more relevant to MESI, most of our equipment is probably from China, I guess, which is also another exciting thing about the MESI portfolio, knowing that it's made locally in Slovenia. I've been lucky enough to visit the warehouse and the production plants. So I guess that's a real key benefit for us, knowing and believing in what we're talking about when we go to our customers, and knowing we've got that support from the team at MESI. So yeah, I don't know how many countries necessarily that we have equipment from, but a lot of our equipment does come from China.
So that's quite a compliment for a manufacturer coming from such a small country that Slovenia is. So can you tell me how the whole relationship developed with MESI? When did it start? How did you come to the conclusion that this might be somebody that you want to work with?
Right. So we used to develop from your MESI ABI standalone device, and we used to, before we were lucky enough to get the agency, we used to work with competitor brands, and we always liked the MESI device. And our general manager was actually in Medica and met up with the people, Jakob and his team at Medica, and I think you were close to looking for a new distributor. Aramik had a chat with Jakob and came back to Australia and told me about the discussion he had. And Jakob had a conference here in Melbourne at the time, and I remember the date because it was February the 7th, because it was my birthday, and Aramik gave me a call and said, I need you to head into this exhibition centre today, please, and meet with Jakob, because we really want to get the MESI agency, and Jakob's shown some interest, but we need to show him that we're the right fit for them as well. So we need to show Jakob that we've got a good national presence and that ultimately we're the right partner. So after heading in there and spending an hour or so with Jakob and some Aramik and Jakob also having discussions, I guess that's how the whole relationship started. I guess I don't need to tell yourself that obviously it's very easy to talk to Jakob. He makes you feel very welcome and certainly led us to believe what we already thought, that this is the right product for us, and we really were keen to get the agency and make a success of it. So that's how it started.
He just wanted an excuse to travel to Australia. That's kind of my take.
I do believe that too. Absolutely.
So can you tell us a little bit more about how the next steps looked like? So how do you usually introduce products that you choose to the market, to your customers?
Yeah, great question. So again, we probably haven't introduced a product quite like we have with MESI, and I say that sincerely because we were given a really good induction. Jakob came to Australia again just before we rolled it out and trained up our whole sales team. So nationally, we've got 25 territory managers around the country. So it was a big investment by us as well, not only MESI, to believe in the product, to know that we had to invest ourselves, get everyone into our national city of Sydney, and then with the support of obviously the MESI team, spent a day doing a proper induction, real good training course, and just giving our team the confidence that we've got that support. As far away as Slovenia is, they're just a phone call away and very accessible, the whole team. So like anything like that, when you've got that backorder support from the specialists, the manufacturers actually make it, having the luxury of ringing Matitsu is obviously part of the production team, really helps us. And when we've got issues, we know it's only a phone call away to solve those issues if there are any. But yeah, it's just that was the success I feel that we really leveraged from.
Mm-hmm. And in your experience, what impact do new technologies have on medical practices that you sell the devices to? Basically, when you're selling the devices to the field, you also get feedback. So I wonder, you probably learn a lot about your customers and get an impression about how they see technologies and perhaps what could be the next thing that you offer to them. And it can also refer to the MESI products that got into medical practices after you introduced them to the customers. For example, was this technology something that was completely new to the customers? Were they already familiar with that? what was just the reactions that you got?
So anytime there's new technology, it's always received with great interest. I guess this is probably more pertinent to speak about the M tablet and the modules that comes with. So when you have old, outdated medical equipment, which a lot of it is that's coming that we sell, having something new like this, it always has that wow factor, but just the wow factor isn't going to sell it. So I guess demonstrating the wireless the wireless product of MESI and having the modules attached, I guess it really helps drive, and word of mouth, I guess, as well around the country is really good. So, if a medical center puts a M tablet device in their clinic, it's the word of mouth that also generates, and having something nothing like it on the market just sets us apart as well. So it's a real big feature of the MESI.
And you mentioned before that most of your devices come from China. I assume that the Chinese market is known as very competitive and very good at copying things. So, what convinces you to stay with MESI with this product instead of choosing something from China that you're also familiar with?
For me personally, obviously, you back your product up with really healthy warranties. You believe in your device. There are warranties we don't see with any of the other devices. I think the fact that people know it's made from Slovenia in Europe is also, I think, a real big help when you're trying to leverage an advantage over another product. And being able to tell the customer that we have direct correspondence with the manufacturer, which is quite rare, is also, really important for us.
Mm-hmm. Are there any examples or anecdotes that you could share about how MESI products improved healthcare practice and patient life?
So certainly with the M tablet, probably mainly the ECG, because that's kind of a more critical piece of equipment. Obviously the ABI is as well, but it's because it's so portable. Obviously it's wireless. It's not stuck with heaps of cords that a general ECG may have. So it's really quick, and it links to the patient files really seamlessly. So obviously a test is really quick, and they don't have to waste time preparing the patient compared to other devices. And it's just a lot easier for the nurse or doctor to use.
Mm-hmm. And is it also reimbursed, the measurement?
So all measurements have a different reimbursement. So whether it's ECG, spirometry, or ABI, we're lucky in Australia. The ABI reimbursement fee is quite healthy. We obviously, our health department see a big, important need for it. So they do entice the clinic with a decent reimbursement fee, I guess. So that's obviously, it demonstrates to the clinic that they need that in their practice as well, if our Medicare are going to give them that item number.
Okay, so you've been working with MESI for a few years now. How would you describe the partnership that it has formed? What do you like best? Are there any things that you see as good practice of collaborations that others could learn from as well?
So it'd be hard not to have a good relationship with MESI. The team are very helpful and engaging. Collaboration's a really good word. I think, coming from two, very different countries, ultimately, collaboration is really important to make sure that you're offering the right thing for Australia, for our market. And again, we are doing the right thing and offering the right service for MESI in Slovenia. I certainly think that's part of the success. The open dialogue that we can have with the whole team, easily accessible. We catch up very often. Every week, some of our team will be speaking with MESI, more than once a week. So I think that's a real key to the success. We're a long way away. The time zone's very, very different. but it still works, and that's probably a key to the continued success.
Sorry. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, if other partners aren't experiencing that, then they can pick up the phone and give me a buzz, because if it's not working for them, then that's all they need to do is obviously stay engaged, and success will come.
Mm-hmm. Since MESI is heading into the second decade of their existence, is there any advice or wish that you could say you have for them?
Who would I be to giving them advice? I think success they've had in the first 10 years. I don't really know what I could offer as in terms of success. I guess the longer you partner with EBOS, the more successful you'll be. That's all I could say.
Perfect. Well, thank you, Matthew, for your time and the discussion, sharing your insight. I wish you all the best. And as for the audience, thank you for following this discussion and the series with other people as well.
Thank you. And can I just congratulate the MESI team, obviously, on 10 years. It's a really great effort from foundation stage to now. I'm sure it's got bigger than you may have ever imagined. So congratulations on the 10 years, and I look forward to doing this in 10 years' time.
Maybe even sooner.
Thank you.